people have a problem with expressing themselves as being white because they would be ruled as racist. And I asked you, yeah, exactly what you said.
No, I didn't.
And then I asked you, hold on, let me get through it. You can throw out what you want after I finish. And when I asked you, what were you talking about? Because white people have a history of expressing themselves and being bigoted and racist at the same time when they do it. Now, I also brought up St. Patrick's Day. I also bring up when Germans like to celebrate October. I also brought up Italians. All these people are white under the spectrum of the United States of America. Now, if they're celebrating their culture, that's one thing. Celebrating their race and upset because you said, what about homosexuals? And what about Black Day? I'm like, I ain't never heard of a Black Day. And I done been in 49 states. I ain't never heard of a Black Day. No, that's what you said. You said black. B-L-A-C-K. That's one word I can spell. That's one word. Hold on. Let me finish.
You are paraphrasing.
No.
Those are not my words.
No, those are not my words. Why would I think someone, those are the words that come from a white individual, not a black one. Then in mid-conversation.
Actually, the words are coming from a human male. A human male.
That's fine.
A human male.
Okay.
Way past race in everything that I do.
Okay,
that's where it's coming from.
You can say that now, but that's not what you said on my.
Oh, no, because I have okay. And while we're talking, I'm pulling it up to tell you exactly what I said.
Go ahead.
Because I have a right and I have an obligation to not only do what you're doing, I have an obligation to do what I need to do to defeat racism. And my way of defeating it.
That's fine. I'm just talking about what you said.
It's different than yours.
No. I'm just talking about what you said. Why don't you get to it? Tell me what you said.
I'm going to say it right now.
Tell me.
I believe that white people are afraid to engage in the discourse.
You said that earlier.
I'm saying it now.
But you said that earlier.
So I'm saying
I heard you the first time.
You just asked me to say it again.
I feel like Kurt Russell in a cowboy movie. I heard you the first time.
You can feel the way you want to feel. Get your feelings out of it.
No, that ain't my feeling. I heard you the first time.
If you get your feelings out of it, maybe we could accomplish
something.
So
you didn't defend white people's right on social media.
I defend everybody's right to say what they
saying that because they got a homosexual day and a black day. And I specifically said to you, I ain't never heard of a black day.
You're taking it out of context and you're paraphrasing. You want to hear what I have to say?
Okay, go ahead.
This is what I have to say. I believe that white people are afraid to engage in the racial conversation for two specific reasons. The first is the emotional outburst that they feel they're going to get back.
You never said any of this.
And the second, I'm telling you what I'm saying now. And the first most important thing that you want to harp on,
to what you said earlier.
that you want to harp on, I'm gonna get to it right now.
Yeah,
is that they believe that they're going to be called racist for their points of view. So they're afraid to engage in conversation.
I would assume
that is how most people feel. Most white people feel. They feel that way.
Question. And let me, because I've been waiting.
Most white people.
Listen, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this all day.
I'm kidding. Calm down. Relax.
Listen, I've been waiting for this all day. Gil, go ahead, my friend. Let me ask you a question, right?
Okay.
And this is what you believe, that most white people are afraid to engage in these conversations because of the emotional outburst and for fear of being called racist, right?
Yes. Among other things.
Right. Okay. Among other things. Okay. Does that have anything to do with the fact that inherently in this country, it's racist? Inherently in this country, if we're going to talk and we're going to have these conversations, we're going to have to get uncomfortable because we're going to have to talk about history. And over that history, there has been a tremendous amount of horrific things that have happened over and over and over again that there has been no solution for, there has been no recourse for, there has been no help for, there has been no no trauma that's been dealt with for any of that. Nothing to fix it, nothing to do anything. So what you're talking about is guilt. People feel guilty because they understand what happened. They understand how fucked up it was. They understand how horrendous it was. And they're sitting here knowing this and then telling someone after all of this, after hundreds of years of atrocity, after no way is it even over, because we can sit here and talk about the Emancipation Proclamation and all that stuff, but all that did was become the prison industrial complex and yada, 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 and we can go all day about that, right? But what you're talking about is the fear of addressing reality.
I'm talking about the fear of the backlash. The backlash
because there's something to feel guilty about. Because something shitty happened.
They shouldn't feel guilty.
Because something shitty happened.
Today's white person should not feel guilty for the past.
If I killed 100, listen to what I'm telling you. If I killed 100 of your family members to build my house, and I know it's a crazy example, but it goes. Just listen. If I killed 100 of your family members to build my house, to build my land on, right? Would it make a damn bit of difference to you which one of my descendants you were talking to when you talked about how the house got built?
No, because I wouldn't have that anger in me.
We're not talking about anger. We're talking about
we are. We are. We're talking about
history. What did happen and what didn't happen.
You know why I should be the most angry? I should be the most angry for somewhere down the line, my line turned from you and your color to me through rape and pillage. I should be the most upset. I should be the most upset.
What makes you think that only happened to your side of your family or whatever?
What I'm telling you is that I should be the most upset.
Okay, well, why would you make concessions for white people?
I'm making
as you put out posts on. Yes,
I'm not making concessions for anybody.
When you said black people have a day and homosexuals, blah, 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 and I hit you back, and then you sit back and say, no, let me rephrase what I said when I gave you examples.
I think you took a phrase that is just a way of speaking, right? Over perspective, not your personal way. Not your personal way of doing things or your personal blackness, right? If black people have a collective experience in this country, right? Versus someone else's experience, right? If we were talking about Jim Crow, right? And all the horrors of Jim Crow, and you came in and said, well, Jim Crow wasn't that bad. We'd be like, what? Did you go through the rest of the shit that we did? Did you see the same shit that we did? That's what that phrase is. If someone was to be like, that doesn't sound like something somebody black would say. It's not how you speak.
Hold on right there.
What you look like.
I'm going to read something right now.
You're talking about collective experience.
I'm going to read something right now.
He has no right. This is one
of the paragraphs I got right here.
That's not questioning your black. Again, that's questioning your perspective.
This is what I said to him. This is when we went to our personal pages. This is one of the things I said to him. It's all good, bro. You can be the blackest man in America. I just want you to explain to the world what black privilege is. That's all. Why would I say that?
Why would you say that? Because you challenged my blackness. Why would I say that? You said that. You said that. Now, wait, let me answer it. Because I have the screenshot. You said that because I sent you my birth certificate. That's why you said it's all okay.
Do you know something? I didn't even reach a birth certificate. I didn't even care.
Well, then why would you say, Why would you say it's all good, bro? I didn't think you were black because of what I said earlier. Why would you say it's all good,
because
bro?
you was making concessions
You're a liar. Stevie Ray, you are a liar.
Dog, I never looked at your birth certificate.
Wait, why would you say that it's all good, bro, when I questioned you questioning my blackness?
No, because you said to me, hey, I'm black. That's why I said a few minutes ago.
You said
in the middle of a conversation,
you black. You said you ain't black.
Exactly.
And
because what black man would be talking about having a problem with black people celebrating their blackness?
Nobody said that. I have a problem with white people not being able to do the same thing. Italian Americans can. German Americans can.
They're not white?
That's not white men. Okay.
Wait a minute. They're not white?
My example to you.
Wait a minute, brother. You can't take a few white and then say they're not. Are they white or aren't they white?
Do you want to? Yes.
No. Answer the question. Are they white?
They're white.
Okay.
Yes, they're white.
Okay.
Do you
So
want
what
to hear
white you
y'all?
talking about?
Did the other two of y'all want to hear my example?
No, what white you talking about?
They're white. So is that what you want to hear?
Yeah.
Or do you want to hear the example of what
Yeah.
I called black privilege, Shane Taylor? Would you like to hear it?
Want to hear that too?
Hold on. I actually do, but I have a question before you tell me. I have a question.
Go
right?
ahead. Yes, sir.
Everybody here, right? Like, especially when you're talking about white people, can trace their lineage back to somewhere else, whether it be England, Croatia, Russia, wherever else. Somewhere down the line, you're going to be able to say, this is where I'm from. That's your heritage, right? That's where you're from, right?
Right.
When you're talking about being white, white is not a culture. Where you're from, right? Where you're from, English culture, Irish culture, all that is well and good. Celebrate whoever you are. Be happy about that. I'm all for that. When you talk about black people celebrating being black, it's because when we're here, they took all our culture. Most of us can't trace back to where we're from, whether it's Kenya or Cameroon, Jamaica.
Why would anyone oppose it though?
There's a huge difference between why can't people celebrate like being white, because there's no such thing.
But
you can celebrate being English, you can celebrate being Italian, all that's well and good. Do that, please do.
Okay.
But when it comes to being black,
I will
you were
accept that.
Stripped of your culture, stripped of your religion, stripped of everything that you knew, stripped of all the things that you worship, beaten down, raped, everything. You were beaten to nothing, killed, everything. The only common thing that you have to celebrate is the fact that we look the way we do and we strive to be successful. That's what we have to celebrate. And then if you're lucky enough to be in a position where you can go and then look for those things and you can figure that out, fantastic. That's a bonus.
Nobody should have a problem with that, including me, which I don't. So my example of that privilege was Mayor Lightfoot specifically stating in a press conference that she would only be doing press conferences with people of color. I believe that's a privilege.
All minorities.
That is a privilege that white people don't have. They can't come out. They can't come out. They can't. Okay, listen. Can they come out? Hold on. Let me just listen. I'm calm. I'm very calm. So can they come out? Can a governor, a white governor, come out and say, I will only have press conferences with white people? Can they say that?
Hold on, years of Jim Crow.
That's my problem.
Hold on. I got a question.
Can't hold people accountable.
Let me ask you something. Why
did she say tat? We can't go tit for tat. We can't go, you did this to me 20 years ago, I'm going to do this to you today. That is improper.
That's rubbish. But anyway, Gil, why did she say she did that? Do you know?
No, but it's improper. And it's incorrect, and it should never have been
said. As a minority, why did she say that?
It doesn't matter. She's a
governor. Okay, I'm going to tell you since you don't care. Because I don't care. For you to think that's black privilege, a black person has to be on the same level with a white person. They have to be on the same level, on the same battlefield. When you talk about competing and competition, they got to be. If they are not, and if it's a giant over a little people like Land of the Giants, the old TV show, it's a big difference. Can you understand that?
I do.
Not only is she a minority being black, she's also gay and she's also a woman.
That doesn't give her the right to say what she said.
I don't have a time to fight. But what I'm saying, I ain't making it. Wait a minute. How is me explaining to you?
No one should
being a minority, being
no one should say that. No one should say that. No one should say that. Based on just common decency.
Let me explain this to you.
Common decency and the advancement of relationships between people. No one should say that. No one.
What I'm trying to figure out is why would anyone white would want to say, I just want to be give interviews to white people and they own all the white media.
And my question is, why would anyone who wants to progress to equitable solutions say what she said? Why would she say that?
This is
why. She don't want equity?
No.
She don't want equity?
What she said, I'm paraphrasing again. She said, in the Chicago area, of which you don't live and neither do I, so we don't know the plight of that whole area.
You're making excuses for wrong.
You can think whatever the
wrong.
I'm gonna tell you what she said.
It's wrong. Do you teach your children that way?
Hey, my daughter started a damn sorrow at an all-white college.
But do you teach them that it's okay? It's okay.
I tell her to make up her own mind about that.
Conversation. He's just trying
as long as she does her due diligence and it's done for the right reasons. That's what I teach her.
Is it you think it's proper for a person to say what she said? I think it's improper.
Look, first of all, brother, I'm not a judge. Secondly, I do understand her plight, of which the reason she did, which you didn't look up, but I did.
But she shouldn't say that, being in the position she's in.
Brother, that's your son.
Being in the position she's in, she shouldn't say that.
Okay, she's the mayor. She's the mayor, right?
Yeah, she shouldn't say that.
She got voted in by the people, right?
She shouldn't say that.
So she's pandering to her base, right?
That is wrong.
Is she pandering to her base or not?
That's politics.
She may be, but that's wrong.
Okay, after 4 years of our president, as far as I'm concerned, it's the same thing.
So let me put it like this. So you live tit for tat.
No, if you're not going to talk about one, if you're not going to demagogue one, you can't demagogue the other one.
Listen, it has to end somewhere.
Oh,
somebody has to stop.
End on her watch. Spit it in for me. Let me tell you what she said.
It has to
Let me tell you what she said.
It has to end on mine.
Let me tell you what she said.
It has to end. The tit for tat.
It ain't going to end unless you end the fight, bro. It ain't going to end unless you see things from totally both sides.
It has to. I do, and that's the problem.
No, you sure about that?
That's why we.
Because like I said, I got right here where you used the word liberal 3 times.
Yes, I believe the liberal point of view is the same.
Here we go. Now we're getting to somewhere.
I believe the liberal point of view has done nothing for the black community at all.
I ain't talking about the black community. I'm talking about a male.
Which she, as a liberal Democrat, that base has done nothing to improve the plight of the minorities in this country.
Brother, real quick, hold on, because just real quick, I always hate when people say that, right? Because number one, neither fucking side gives a shit. Right. Neither one.
Neither one of them.
Two wings of the same crooked bird. So stop. Exactly. I hate when people say, well, the Democrats never, neither did the Republicans. No one gives a shit.
They should. You know why? You know why they should?
Everybody should.
You know why they should?
Everybody should.
Let's start with slavery.
We're not talking about why they should. We're talking about the
was a Democrat foundation. The Reconstruction period and the lack of helping the black was because of the South and the Democrat foundation. The reason why we had Jim Crow was because of the Democrat foundation. The reason we had separate
was
because of the Democrat foundation. The Democrats,
you do realize the basis of their arguments and their platforms back then to now flip-flopped, right? So Democrats back then, the Democratic foundation, hold on. As far as what they believe, closely more resembles the Republican Party today than the Democratic Party.
Hey, Matt, hold on.
You do get that, right?
Matt,
I get the
That's
facts.
what happened. So people always hang their hats on the word Democrat, as opposed to looking at what their behavior is. And that's exactly what you're doing. And that is the same argument that other people try to add in. They just go, Democrats this, Democrats that. That's not the case because you are looking at behavior.
Hold on, Shane. Let's not I see him shaking his head.
And the behavior has caused the plight in this country.
No. Good. Anyway, Matt, I seen you shaking your head a few minutes ago. What was on your mind?
I can tell you as a white male, I've never felt afraid to have a conversation with anybody. I mean, I grew up in a melting pot on the West Coast where I think maybe there's more of a larger, different demographic of people hanging out, going to school as you grow up in my generation. Even now, like I'm not afraid to talk to Stevie Ray or anybody in general.
Why would you?
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Why would you?
You intimidate me, but not to talk about that. Not about race, because I know that you'd have some good conversation. And I think
people don't know. Me and Matt talk all the time. We do.
The breakdown in society in which we see, I think that there's both agendas. I think that there is a very alt-right agenda that pushes their agenda. There's a very LGBTQ agenda that pushes their agenda. There's a very Democrat, there's a very conservative, everybody, the Young Turks on YouTube, progressives, everybody's got their own agendas that they're trying to push, right? I think what gets lost though is that it's not guilt. Like I don't feel guilty. Like there's just to some extent I agree with Gil. I don't feel guilty about what happened 300 years ago. I feel empathy though, is what I feel. Like this is fucked up. No one's tried to fix this situation.
I think they have tried to fix it, but they've done the wrong things to fix it.
Well,
the government's done the wrong things to fix it.
Hold on a second, Gil. When he finishes, I'll let you get to that. Go ahead,
yes,
Matt.
Sir. Yes, sir. You're right.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think that, there hasn't been an emphasis on it. I think that they've placated to the Black community, they placated to the Hispanic community, all communities, politics do that, right? Pander and placate until they get their vote, and then they forget about them again for a couple of years until it's time to vote.
That's my point.
That's politics in general. But I think, unfortunately, I don't understand the mindset where you might be coming from, feeling like that white people are afraid to talk to Black people.
I never met anyone afraid to talk.
Or afraid to talk.
I meet them every day.
Race.
I meet them every day.
Because maybe they think you think like them, right?
I meet them every day. Well, if that's true, then they're being honest with me. If that's true, what you say, if what you say is true,
that's what I'm saying. Because they feel comfortable.
If what you say,
feel comfortable about what I'm thinking. You see,
and that's wrong. That's not okay.
Well, don't tell me it's wrong.
That's not okay.
I think there's also.
I didn't say it was okay. I'm just saying that's how some people are.
Your point is so right. You see, they're telling me this because. Say again.
To finish up here, what I was going to get at, I think there also has to do with demographics and regions. You are in a southern part of the country where predominantly, historically speaking, it's been held by white people who have held slavery. I'm on the West Coast where it's more about progressive and smoking weed and loving everybody.
Right.
Well, why you had to bring that up, bro?
Well, we get weed.
Why you had to bring the weed up?
Weed, it's good.
That's legit.